For me, basically, I would look at six indicators or six numbers in any financial report to determine whether a business is worth investing or not. They are basically net profit margin, dividends, growth in earnings per share, return on equity, debt equity ratio, and current ratio. Most of the time, these numbers you can find in an annual report or an audit report. We are not going to show all these technical reports over here. It's going to cause some of you to faint if you're not an accountant. Let me show you some shortcut. I'm sure if you are from Penang, this would look more familiar to you because this publication is done by a Penang company called DynaQuest. It is called the Stock Performance Guide. You can find it in most leading bookstores in the country. What this report does is that it summarizes the performance of all the listed companies on the Bursa. Actually, not all, but most of the so-called good companies. It contains about 650 reports on 650 companies, 400 companies on the main board, and another 250 companies on the second board. I believe now they have merged it. So basically, these are the 650 out of the 1,000 or so companies on the Bursa. The rest, which are not reported in this report, we can consider them as weak companies, okay? So let's start with the first indicator, what we call net profit margin. What it measures basically is the profitability of a business. Of course, when we do a business, we are not running a charity organization or a non-profit organization, isn't it? So the most important thing in the business, I believe, is profits. If a business is not profitable, I think needless to say, it's not worth doing, isn't it? So how is it derived? It is simply derived by dividing the profit by sales and getting a percentage of it. And what would be a healthy range? I would say a healthy range for net profit margin would be between 10 to 30%. Of course, less than 10% is not attractive, and more than 30%, a lot of people will have their saliva dripping already. Because there are a lot of businesses in the country with a gross margin of even less than 10%, not even talking about net profit. A common example would be taking a trip to Lau Yat Plaza, where people sell all the electronic stuff, electronic goods. Most of the time, when we look at their gross profit, it is even less than 10%. So as a business, how can you survive if your gross profit is less than 10%? What would be your net profit, isn't it? If the gross is 10%, the net could be just 1 or 2% after deducting the expensive rental and salaries and overheads. So for me personally, if a business does not generate more than 10% in net profits, I think it's not really worth doing. So if you ask me why are there so many people doing business in Lau Yat Plaza, well, the answer is search me. Okay, this is what you will get from the DynaQuest report that I showed you earlier. They summarize all the figures into one simple report. And to find the net profit margin from this report, you would have to look for the profit before tax, which is for December 06, is 840 million, and manually divided by the sales, which is 2.5 billion. Why is Andrew Chia showing such outdated figures? Well, the important thing for financial reports is not to just look at the latest figures, but you should actually take figures for at least 10 to 20 years and get an average from there. That will give you a much better idea whether the business is sustainable or not. There's no point having a good net profit for just 1 year, say for example the latest year, and then the subsequent years you have a very low profit or even a loss, isn't it? Okay, so this is what you get. And of course, the company that is on survey here is the PPB Group. In case you don't know what this company is, it belongs to the richest man in Malaysia. Tan Sri Robert Kwok. Okay. Let's move to the next indicator, dividends.
At my website, you'll find online financial seminars, which is I call webinars. I do it regularly, and also a lot of online investment and financial courses, which is conducted solely online. So I'll be waiting for you at my website at KCLau.com. I wish you have a great day. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.